Welcome to this Fleet Owner Quick Chat. I'm Kevin Jones, Editorial Director, and with me are Cindy Brand from Descartes and Lindsay Trent from Next Gen Trucking. They're going to highlight a new partnership focused on building a strong pipeline of future talent in the trucking industry. This session will provide insights for industry professionals, educators, anyone interested in supporting the next generation of transportation leaders. So, Cindy, if you would briefly introduce yourself and get us started. How is Descartes helping companies raise the bar in last mile delivery management? And what are some emerging trends that the industry leaders should be paying close attention to today?
Sure. So thanks, Kevin. My name again is Cindy Brandt. I'm the Vice President of Fleet Solutions at Descartes. So I work a lot with being an evangelist, talking out inside the last mile space, as well as run some of the go-to-market practice. When you ask, what do we do inside the space of last mile? We have a delivery management platform. And the whole goal of that delivery management platform is to help companies maximize operational efficiency, drive growth, and provide visibility and control across their entire distribution process.
Same to you, Lindsay. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Next Gen Trucking and how you're shifting perceptions of trucking logistics careers among young people. What about some recent successes? How are the schools and employers working together?
Thank you. And I'm excited to tell you about Next Gen Trucking. So we're really a fairly new organization, and we created Next Gen Trucking to solve an industry-wide problem with an industry-wide solution. And that's really trying to educate young people about the trucking industry. We know we have an aging workforce, and seemingly young people don't really know about all the great careers that we have. So we created Next Gen Trucking really to fit that mold. And it's really around 4 pillars. Promote trucking careers. That's one of the big things that we're doing. And it's trying to raise awareness with students, but not just students, but with people who influence education, like school counselors and teachers and administrators and parents, right? They don't know about the trucking industry and all of the jobs that we have. And we see a big shift right now of young people not wanting to go to college. So let's educate them about trucking, right? And then we work with schools to build enhanced training programs. So we're specifically getting into high schools and helping them start CDL programs, diesel mechanic programs, and supply chain and logistics programs. Then we want to connect the workforce with employers. And so that is getting employers to bridge the gap between industry and education and helping them get within those school districts and school systems to help them build their workforce and really invest in their community. And lastly, to celebrate achievements across trucking. Right now, we have Next Top Talent Award, and we're asking people to nominate drivers and technicians under 30 that are doing a great job for their company, so we can help recognize all of the great things that young talent are doing to contribute to the industry.
Okay, well, Cindy, back to you. What are some of the most pressing workforce challenges facing last mile and delivery management? How do these industry partnerships work? And, what's the upside? Why invest in bringing on the next generation right now?
In distribution today, the talent gap stretches across the board, from planners to dispatchers to warehouse associates to drivers. It's all these are important in the final mile. It's not just about headcount anymore. It's about finding people with the absolute right mix of operational know-how and common sense and digital skills. Why digital skills? We're starting to work now in an increasingly automated, data-driven environment. If we don't start to take advantage of these digital native kids that are coming to the workforce, we're really missing out on something here. But this is where industry partnerships like the Descartes partnership with Next Generation Trucking really can work together hand in hand. We want to help build these shared talent pipelines. We want to cross-train workers for multiple roles at multiple levels, but probably most important, create a consistent career pathway that keep people in the industry. No one company can do this alone. No one industry association can do it alone. We all need to pull the rubber band together so we all get pulled in the right direction, which is up together.
Speaking of that, Cindy, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but with school going back to session, lots of schools have outlawed cell phones during the day,
Mm-hmm.
and kids are having withdrawals. But let's look at the upside, Cindy. Talk a little bit about, how can technology and data be leveraged to bring these kids into the workforce to solve some of these challenges?
Sure. So 77% of supply chain leaders say talent shortages are their top barrier to growth, and it affects the planners, warehouse staff, and drivers alike. So everybody's being affected. But if you think about bringing in new talent, can't just think about it like we're filling positions. You're bringing in fresh thinking. Younger generations are digital natives, something that you and I are not, right? We're doing our best we can in the digital world, but we're not digital natives. They don't just adapt to technology, they expect it, and they expect technology to do their jobs. That particular mindset of being that digital first accelerates innovation, streamlines processes, and often leads to smarter, more sustainable delivery models. They're thinking about solving problems in ways that you and I never would have thought of. And they're attacking it from a fresh mindset. Plus, remember, we're bringing more and more technology into the cab of the vehicle, the hands of our drivers, the hands of our warehouse crews, and even inside the four walls with operational tools, whether it's telematics and tracking, or route optimization and execution.
All right. Well, Lindsay, Cindy's certainly a smooth talker, but how is Descartes actually delivering on the ground? What is the partnership with Descartes and Next Gen Trucking doing to actually make this link between classrooms and real world logistics careers?
Yeah, and we're so excited that Descartes joined forces with Next Gen this year. And one of the things that we know that is important to young people is technology. We don't want to live in an environment anymore where there's paper and where you are going to a truck and you have paperwork to do. It's young people expect technology right there in the cab, and they want to be able to be connected to their entire job. And I thought it was really interesting because another thing about the next generation and Gen Z is that they're very attracted to environmental sustainability. And I was reading Descartes. I thought it was really awesome. Their environmental, social, and governance, what they're driven by. And what they did to help the environment last year with their solution is save 2.7 million tons of CO2, save 2.9 billion sheets of paper with a B. That's insane. And 1 billion liters of fuel. Young people want to work for a company that actually cares about the environment. And the solution that Descartes provides is helping companies to lessen what they're doing with the environment. And so this is a great partnership that we have. It's a great way to attract young talent. And what we're trying to do is really focus on that early talent development, which is going to help bring young people into the industry and showcase the technology that Descartes can provide.
Well, actually, Lindsay, kind of along those lines, certainly in any communities where there's a strong trucking or transportation logistics presence, or say a manufacturing presence, the leaders in those industries will be reaching out to high schools. But what about a community that might not might not have a program like this? How does that work?
Yeah, it's the great thing about trucking is that we're in urban and rural environments, and we have programs in a lot of rural schools. And a lot of those young people are attracted to a career in trucking. And so one of the big things that we are trying to do is to really bring to the forefront the next generation and employers. And so work within your community as an employer. If you have 50 distribution centers, we want to make sure all those distribution centers are working in their backyard in their local high school and taking a truck and talking to the students about opportunities, because that is how we're going to get young people into our industry, is by educating them about the amazing things that we do in trucking and why it matters and why our drivers are heroes on the highway. Because if we don't have trucking, if we don't have the supply chain functioning at a high level, then we don't have all of the goods that we now expect to have to be delivered to our door every day.
Okay, wrapping up with some big picture questions for either or both of you. Kind of looking 3 to 5 years down the road, what does a partnership like Descartes and Next Gen Trucking, what's it going to mean for the industry?
Well, I can answer, and then you can answer next, or vice versa. But one of Descartes' one of their pillars is to create a diverse and equitable workforce, and that is what we are doing, is trying to create that workforce within schools and really looking at those Title I schools that we can help build their students into great careers where they can have a sustaining career that is high wage, high skill, and in high demand. And that partnership is helping us do this and what we're doing. But I'd love to see us bring more technology into the schoolroom with the help of Descartes and their systems and that real life exploratory curriculum.
And to add on to that, I mean, we want to work with Lindsay to really showcase the fact that there's a wide range of supply chain careers out there. And it ranges from the warehouse floor to the driver's seat and 42 things in between. But we also want these careers to be recognized as launch pads, not just jobs. And what I mean by that is we think that working together, we can help attract entry-level talent. And that includes recent high school graduates as well as recent college graduates, because there's a huge opportunity for all these folks to move from entry-level operations roles to leadership roles within companies and leadership tracks. And then they'll get that incredibly important experience of understanding the business kind of from the ground up. And a lot of these supply chain careers, people have started their job in the warehouse or started as a driver to excel through the company. So I don't think sometimes people realize what a great opportunity there really is to work inside. Again, I'm going to broadly call them supply chain careers, because I think that Lindsay's organization just spans so much, not just truck drivers.
All right. Well, no Teams or Zoom meeting would be complete without some action items for everybody to take home. So what are some immediate steps to take, in order to support the next generation of transportation and logistics professionals?
I think the biggest thing leaders can do right now is make the first rung on the career ladder worth stepping into, right? So as I leave high school or as I graduate from college, let's make sure that there's a clear pathway. So, this doesn't just mean competitive pay. We all agree with that. But training programs, mentorship, visible success stories of people who started in an entry-level role, and showcase how they've moved up through the ranks. If people see real career arcs, they're going to be attracted to the industry.
That is so right. It's those real stories of real people, young people. They don't want stock images. They want to know, what is it like to work for your company? How are you going to invest in me so I can start here entry level, but maybe I want to be a manager or I want to be a director. How will you take me to that position? And they're going to provide that loyalty to you to help your retaining of all of these awesome employees. And we want trucking and the supply chain to be a first career choice, not a third and fourth career choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can see this makes a ton of sense, and it's going to take off once somebody shows that it works. Have we seen that? I mean, how are we inspiring other companies to look at this kind of program?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I love to answer that, because when we started Next Gen Trucking, we found about 10 high school CDL programs. 8 of those were in Maine. They've been doing it forever. We're up to over 50 high school CDL programs. Now we're finding a lot more schools that are starting logistics and supply chain programs. And so we're helping schools start that. And it's an emphasis, right? I'm a school. I can say, I want to start a welding program, a construction, HVAC, or I can start trucking. We are there to lobby the school to start trucking programs. That is what it takes, is that early talent development. The school hires the teacher and we work with them and bring the industry in. And so we would love to help your school district. If you think, my school district might be a great one to start a supply chain program, we want to help them do that. And we have all of the tools that it takes. So reach out. We'd love to. That's what we do every day.
All right, Cindy, anything you want to add to wrap us up here?
When companies really take the time to partner and invest in workforce development, it truly sends a powerful, powerful message. And that's where companies partnering with associations like Next Generation in Trucking or their local high schools to show the different range of careers, they're no longer competing for talent, they're building it. And they're custom building it, oftentimes to their needs. And the one thing that I like, and I think that Lindsay's been such a great unifier within our entire industry, it shows that collaboration, and especially collaboration amongst industry rivals, it strengthens the entire talent pool when everybody comes together.
Excellent. That's a great way to finish. Well, as always, I appreciate you both for explaining things to me. When you come up with a program for imminent retirees, holler at me. Because you're very inspiring, and I can't wait to see how this all turns out. So thank you very much, and I assume we'll have contact information, everything linked along with the page where this webcast is posted. So thank you very much.